Hello, the colours we're going to use today are raw umber, we've got Indian red, we've got some burnt sienna, some maroon and some yellow ochre. So I've got a medium-sized flat brush. I thought that would be ideal to do square shapes, and we are just going to push the brush onto the page to make sort of like little boxes. And these are going to represent our little houses. So using the flat of that brush to make the windows and draw the lines, very easy to do with a flat brush as opposed to a round brush. It really lends itself to doing squares. So just adding some windows, some doors, and I am changing the colours as I go and then starting on the roofs. So still using that flat brush, I can do roundish kind of oval roofs with that, but also do the flat pointy bits on this one. So changing the colours up as I go and just doing some edges, filling it in and just having some lovely watercolour time. Not worrying too much about the edges. I'm trying to get a bit of a gap in between, but I'm not worrying too much about it because I will be able to rectify that later on in the painting. So adding some windows, and now as we're moving back to the buildings at the rear, they are going to be slightly smaller than our buildings at the front. So you just would need to just layer up and move from the front to the back and then stop where you feel. You might want to fill your page full of houses, and that's fine. Just go with what feels right with you. So just adding these last little bits of roofs there. And then moving on to the windows and doors. So I'm further embellishing. You might want to leave them plain. You might want to use some pen to do this, or some pencil. I've chosen a small round brush and I'm just filling those in. If I'd have got a flat brush, maybe that would have worked better, but I hadn't got one that was small enough. So I'm just drawing on the doors and windows here and there, and you may want to add some detail with your watercolour paint. Layer on top, maybe detail to the roofs, maybe some brickwork to the houses, whatever feels good for you. So I've decided to move on to the sky, so I'm just wetting the page where I want the paint to go, leaving a gap again in between the roofs and the sky, and we are going to wet the rest of that sky with some water. And I've got some Prussian blue, or it might be blue grey deep, I think it is actually, and I'm just adding that colour onto the sky, pulling the board up slightly so that the colour comes down. You want the darker colour at the top and you want it to go lighter towards the houses. So once all of that is dry, then I've got a Posca pen and I'm just outlining where I think the paint has sort of overlaid, and I'm not getting too much of a gap in between, you know, my houses, my windows. Unfortunately, I haven't got that much of a steady hand, so some of the paint has merged over onto the other houses. And when I've done that, I am then, with a black fine liner, just going to outline the buildings, the windows, whatever I think really. I'm just going with the flow, just having a nice time, just thinking, well, what shall I do now? Let's just add some pen. And that's the great joy of art. When you're doing this kind of art, you don't have to think to yourself, well, that's a picture, I'm going to copy that to the exact. You can just go with your feelings and fill in whatever you want. So I have got some gold ink here, and I thought it'd be nice to do some tiles on some of the roofs and add some embellishments to some of the houses. If you haven't got some gold ink, maybe some gold paint or some gold pen or any colour pen, pencils you have, you can use those to embellish your buildings. So continuing with this and adding some lines onto that roof and just adding some little round circles for no apparent reason, just on some of the roofs and some of the buildings, just because I like circles, and adding some little tiles to this roof here. I've let the ink dry and I've grabbed my black fine liner again, and I thought it'd be kind of cute to add some little lines in between each and every house and in between some of the windows, and then I'm just embellishing on some of that gold ink. Just putting some lines here and there, outlining that gold ink there, and just going with the flow. So I'm just outlining these circles, and that really makes them pop out. It sort of gives a bit of a shadow line around that gold. So just enhances that gold just a little bit more, or you may have liked the way it looked before, but just go with how you feel. So I've grabbed a white Uniball pen. This is a broad Uniball pen. And again, same principle, just adding some lines here and there, outlining some of that gold ink again, just so that some of the roofs, they look a little bit different to one another, even though they've got very similar marks on there. So continuing with that and outlining again, and just finding where I can embellish more, and I thought that the windows would look nice with a criss-cross kind of pattern on them, to split those windows up, and then just adding some white onto some of the roofs. So I hope you like this. I hope you like and subscribe, and I really do hope you leave me a comment. I love hearing about what you've been up to, what your art journey's about, and whether you're going to try this and what colours would you use. I just love hearing what you're up to. So I've finished the painting now, so I've heated up the tape and I'm just pulling it all away, and you can see the lovely little houses here, the little doodle town. So I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you get to try. It's just a little bit of fun. Don't take it seriously. Just enjoy your arty time and see where it leads you. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. Okay then, bye.